So by taking and bolting the floater on to the ring,
Right.
we can stack on the discs,
Right.
first disc down, then the ring goes over, and all he has to do is when he's doing this, in the car it'll be upright.
Right.
Okay, so he can put his spline tool in,
Right.
let the ring sit on there, rotate it around until he finds his pattern, then he just holds his pattern in there, puts his
And
bolts.
bolts it to it.
Now he's got it bolted up,
Right.
so it's ready to go. It's got a spline tool in this disc.
Right.
If he puts a little pressure against the floater,
Right.
it goes down. You can see
Right.
it move slightly.
Yes.
You can hold this disc in position, pull the spline tool out, put this disc over the top of it,
Put the spline
put the
tool
spline
back
tool
in.
back in it,
Then put your cover on.
make
Pressure.
sure
Yes.
that the archway goes over the straps
Okay.
when it bolts down. So the whole thing is reduced in diameter. This is 9 11/16.
Mm-hmm.
It's got approximately 1900 pounds, which is like a stock foreign car, cable car Mustangs when they have the little ratcheting quadrant up under the dash. It's made out of plastic or nylon. It does not ratchet in correctly, so it doesn't give us enough throw
I see.
in this unit. So in those cars that are cable cars, we offer a part number, and it has a little quadrant, luminous quadrant. It has a adjustable firewall brace. It has an adjustable throat bearing and an adjustable ball stud. So that's the only car that we have found that the
Got it.
linkage just weren't compatible straight out of the car.
Got
Any
it.
of the early cars, muscle cars, mechanical linkage,
Right.
hydraulic linkage, they're perfect.
No problem.
No
Wow.
problem. And once he puts this in, of course, it's going to be lighter than his stock one.
Right.
So number one, he's going to get a RPM increase immediately.
Really.
He's going to get square inches. So his holding power increases up now to 800 horses on the street. Now by changing the facing on this disc to a button, should say a copper button, that we have exclusively made, on both sides of the disc, both
Really?
discs, I can increase it now to over 1,000 horsepower with the same unit.
You're talking about basically a metal type of plate.
Metallic
Metallic
button
plates.
on a facing.
But that metallic plate, can it be driven on the street?
Perfect.
Really?
It has, in all of our discs, we have the slightest amount of marcel, which is a cushioning between the facing.
Oh, okay.
So dynamically, as you try to squeeze it, it doesn't go flat and jump across the facing.
Got it.
So it dynamically will push on it and starts everything into motion before it goes flat. The same thing we do here. With the floater, if you look at it and I push down on it, it creates a dynamic movement.
Right, it is moving.
So between the two of them, we create a greater marcel so that it's very smooth, even though it's metallic.
So that's how you make basically a racing clutch streetable.
Yes.
Is by giving it that little bit of kiss right before it bites.
The dynamic resistance, that's what it's all about.
That's
Now,
really
keeping in
interesting.
mind that here's your spline,
Right,
pressure plate over the top. The pressure plate is going to start coming toward the first disc.
right.
So it's going to touch this surface, and all of them are going to start into motion, but you haven't put any pressure against the bottom disc.
Got it.
Okay, so as you start to squeeze the top disc, it starts to squeeze its marcel.
Right,
Once it starts to squeeze the marcel, then it starts to push against the floater,
right,
picks up the other dynamic resistance till it picks up the second disc.
right.
Then it has the dynamic resistance against it to get down.
Got
Those are in milliseconds,
Right.
but for
It's
a guy
gradual.
driving it, it's the difference between going smoothly or
Right.
shuddering. With the 8 rivets, we make it a solid. Now, the reason we do a solid hub
Huh.
is because we want it to be able to move without all of the lag time, because you got 2 discs and I don't want them lagging
Yeah,
up.
Yes, yes.
And because the pressure is so light, we don't have to worry about the shock load down the drivetrain.
Got it. Got it.
The model with the organic facings is called the RST,
Okay. RST.
Twin disc.
Right.
Red's Street Twin.
Red Street Twin. I'll remember that one.
That's why it was designed.
Right.
The other one with the metal button facing is called the RXT, Red's Extreme
Ah.
Twin.
That's kind of the way I'm leaning.
Yeah.
I like things on the extreme. Well, that's great. I really appreciate your time.
Okay,
and
well,
congratulations.
We're glad to show it to everybody.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.